Welcome to Shakur. What's going on, fella?
Yo,
What's up, yo?
What up? What up?
I definitely can't do this show without the fellas. Again, I'm your host, Keith Hall. This is where we do national as well as some local news. We touch on some trending topics as well as culturally relevant topics. Today, I got the fellas with me. Who we got? We got EB. What's going on, E?
What's the dilly? What's up?
We got Wardy. Wardy out there working.
What's up? What's up?
Wardy out there working that weather, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got the professor Shakur.
the professor's in the house. What's up, fellas? What's up?
What's going on, man? How you?
I got Monday blues, man. Monday blues, brother.
Speaking of that, coming off that weekend, man, we just celebrated the most awkward, the most inconvenient during this pandemic when we celebrated Thanksgiving. Most people weren't able to travel. But a lot of people, from what I understand, were able to, still see their families via Zoom or, whatever it is, the virtual thing that they were using. But man, this thing was crazy, man. The first time, I noticed a lot that was going on that was different, man. What's some of y'all thoughts on that?
Man, it's been crazy. It's like, I found out my brother ended up with it,
Right.
and he couldn't, we couldn't see him during the holidays, and it was just me, my mom, and my sister. Sister threw down in the kitchen and took over some of my famous banana pudding, and we chowed down, and it was a good night. Just the three of us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Thanksgiving for me, man, was exceptionally different, bro. Because I normally go over to Mom Duke's house, and this year, Mom Dukes decided to take some precautions. So rightfully and respectfully so.
She took the precautions on y'all. She
She ain't want nobody. She ain't want nobody over there, man. So I had to respect that, brother. But
yeah.
listen, but let me tell you what she did do, man.
I know what she did.
She packed away some trays and containers worth of food, and she allowed me to come and do a drive-by and pick up the food. Mask on.
Good. That's good.
I met her at the doorstep. She said, "Here, how you doing? Love you." And we kept it moving. So special thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
That's a drive-through Thanksgiving, man.
And went home and busted grub big time.
Oh man, that's what's up.
Katie, man, did y'all cook anything different while y'all cooking? What y'all Thanksgiving is?
The traditional, baked macaroni and cheese, the turkey,
all right, same
the stuffing, the potato salad, the yams. You gotta have the yams. Yeah, the cobbler. You gotta have some cobbler in there. Thanksgiving, man. So what I did, because the family my extended family still wanted to come over, and I had to, text everybody and say, nah, we can't do the traditional Thanksgiving at my house no more, because where I live, is the home I grew up in, so everybody's used to traditionally coming over here, and I said we can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, I don't know where all y'all been. and and then my mom is here, and I don't want to expose her to anything that might take her out of here. So what I did, INF, and I think you probably did the same thing. I sent a Zoom link out.
Right.
So I sent a Zoom link out to all the family members so that they could log in at 4:00. And we all logged in. Everybody was at their plate. Everybody was at their plate, at their station. We had the family blessing, the prayer, and we bust the grub. It was different because, I'm at the table with my immediate family. Then I'm turning to the tablet like, hey, what's going on, yo? What's that? It's like you're talking into another room.
Right.
That's down the hall. you know, so you lose that intimate connection, but that's the best we could do in this age that we living in with this pandemic. So we was on Zoom for about an hour and a half, all
Nice.
eight together. We talked for a little bit, and then we closed the Zoom link up, and went from there. But that's the best we could do. It was artificial, to say the least,
Mm-hmm.
but at least we were still able to be together in some fashion.
Yeah, I think a lot of families
Nice.
did that. I saw and I witnessed, people posting Zooms and enjoying that time with a food, with a plate right in front of them. Yo, how long does is leftovers, man, supposed to Thanksgiving?
Got to be creative, man.
I'm like, yo, is it like Labor Day where it's a certain time you can't wear white after?
You
Like,
can't wear white.
how long is it? Because I'm still jumping on some, man, and I'm happy.
No doubt.
Yeah, I'm happy with it, man.
Well, I know that bird's gonna be a big pot of soup soon.
I was just getting ready to say that word.
Turkey salad here. We got the turkey salad going on.
That
So,
soup, and I need that soup towards the end of that.
the
Yeah,
sides are
man.
gone. All the sides are
Oh yeah, the
gone. It
sides are
was just
going. Hey.
the turkey. The turkey remaineth.
Right.
Yeah.
What's fun? I think the only thing, like I just had, I had some fish that's gone, and all
Mm.
Right.
right now, man. So I'm chomping on them joints, man. We tell Aiden we said what's up back there. I know that's him. Hey, so I want to go to welcome. I think I came in hot today, man. I came in fast. I came in kind of quick, but I want to say welcome to everyone for checking us out. If you just joining us, this is just our thoughts with the fellas. Again, I'm your host, so we appreciate you guys just coming in, just taking your time out on this day, just to spend with us and talk to us, and so we can laugh at you while you respond to us. If you can, go to just our thoughts Facebook page, the fan page, and like and subscribe that, as well as just our thoughts on YouTube, as well. And that's where you can also check it out. So, what's going on, fellas, man? Everything going?
Hey,
What's up? What's up?
yo,
Hanging in there,
did,
brother.
Yeah.
did y'all see that fight?
Well,
I missed it, man. Break it
Yo,
down. Talk to me about it.
man, I'm gonna say this. It was a very entertaining card. The
all of
very all of them.
all
The
of
first fight, yo, that was a good fight.
yeah,
That was a damn good fight.
yeah.
But we gonna fast forward to Nate Robinson.
If you would go to fight
I
before,
mean, it's sad to clown him like that, but the brother was way out of his league.
yeah.
It was not his. It was not. He should have never stepped in the ring.
Yo,
But you got to give him credit for
I
stepping in the ring.
definitely give you credit for stepping in the ring. I just know,
Definitely,
I know
definitely.
that's not my lane right there. That's not my lane right there.
Yeah, but then we gonna move past him because there was enough memes for everybody to figure out what happened.
Yeah,
And then Tyson went in to fight. Roy wasn't ready, and Roy let everybody know that Tyson hurt him.
yeah,
But it was funny. I knew they was going to call it a draw for just for some reason.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
But it was entertaining.
Hmm.
They did a little bit of hugging, too much hugging, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
yeah, a lot of people said they wasted their money, but nah,
They did too much
I don't think it
hugging.
was a big waste. Roy did. Roy felt that first body shot, and he was like, I ain't want. He ain't
yo,
want no more.
me, man, we should put a petition out, man, for Snoop to be the announcer, man, to start announcing.
Oh my!
You know,
Yo,
I
that
heard
was
Snoop
funny.
was at his best.
Yo,
Snoop
Snoop was singing.
wasn't his
Snoop
first.
was singing gospel hymns.
I heard he said something like, these are my two uncles out there fighting at a barbecue, something like that.
Yeah,
Snoop had,
yeah,
that was the most interesting thing to me. Like the fights, all the old card, I thought was cool. It was fun. It was
yeah.
entertaining, but
But they do need some more color commentary.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, since it was a draw, man, I mean, does that mean that it's going to be a
It's just nah. See, Tyson said he would like to do it again,
But Roy was so
but Roy sounded like it was a prize fight. Like, look, I gotta go home, talk to my family, see what they say. If it's entertaining, I might come back.
mhm.
right?
Roy don't
Right.
want no more. Roy don't want no more, Mike.
Listen, I'm saying for Mike being 54 years old, for going 8 rounds, the what 2 minute rounds,
Yeah, they was
2 minute rounds.
Mike looked in tip top
He
shape
looked
for
good.
54 years old.
yeah,
He looked
He didn't
damn
look
good.
winded after each round. I did catch some of that
Nah.
on YouTube, but for him to be 54 and from where he was being obese and to getting
Mhm.
himself in shape to do something that he loved to do, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying, which is fight.
Yeah.
I gotta say, man, kudos to that dude, man. I mean, he showed that you're never too old to go back to your first love.
yeah.
Yeah. And the biggest thing, man, he was still just happy to be in the ring. He was, man. It was like he really enjoyed himself in the ring.
Hmm.
Throwing punches and getting hit.
Yeah,
And
Mhm.
he didn't need the money. I mean,
No.
he's got his hands in the cannabis industry.
yeah,
He's got commercials, movies.
Yep.
I mean, he's got a lot of streams of revenue. So he was
Yeah.
just doing something that he really authentically loved to do.
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
He made mention about it was all humanitarian cause behind it. It wasn't like for him. It was for everybody else. I mean,
Yeah.
not everybody else, but it was for a just cause.
right.
And
Hmm.
but yeah, you could see the enjoyment in his face. He was man. He was in his world, man. He was having some
Good, good for Mike. Good for Roy,
yes, sir.
man. Good for
Yeah,
the
both of
culture.
them.
Good for the culture.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Oh man, what's going on, man? What else is going on in our local, or even some worldwide news, man? What you got?
Hey,
So,
listen. Let's take a look at the turn the page and talk about some politics real quick, my good brothers. As we know, President-elect Joe Biden will be making that transition on January the 20th. But for that, we got to keep in mind that the control of the Senate is going to boil down to that Georgia runoff. So we got four candidates and we got two seats. And right now, Democrats are at 48 seats and Republicans are at 50. So that's why we need those two seats. Now, in the event we get those two seats, then there will be a runoff. Whereas Kamala, well, not a runoff, Kamala will actually be the tiebreaker, and we need to get some bills or some legislation passed. So if you guys know anybody, man, down in Georgia, family and friends, make sure you reach out to them, tell them to vote for the two Democrats, Reverend Warnoff and John Ossoff.
just Asif, yeah.
Ossoff, yeah. The last thing I wanted to say about that, man, is we got to give Stacey Abrams some props, man, for just boosting the Democratic numbers down there in Georgia too, man.
Hmm.
Keep an eye out on that runoff election on January 5th.
Nice. Anything
Yeah.
with that? I just want.
Well, I just want to just add that Trump's putting his foot in there and making it real difficult for the whole situation
Mm-hmm.
because of the rhetoric he's spewing about, voter fraud. He even got his people down there like, why should I vote then?
Mhm.
You talk about if it's fraud, why should I even vote?
Yeah, that's true. Ward, they have some internal challenges on both
Hmm.
sides. What you just
Yeah,
said, what you just said about the Republicans. Now, as far as the Democrats are concerned, there's some discussion that there may be issues that some of the black voters might not come out or vote simply because the off cycle election on the ballots it trickles down. Joe Biden, all Democrats, all the way down.
right,
This one is just the Senate runoff names. So
right,
hopefully that won't discourage them.
right. Yeah.
Okay. Dope. We good with that, man. On another note, last week, what was it about 4 or 5 entrepreneurs in Georgia? Just definitely on a good note, coming off all of that, man. They were able to provide families during a 2-hour period, at a shopping store, man, whatever they wanted. I think the bill came up to like 40,000, man. So it's definitely great, another story, man, to see brothers, young brothers, man, taking that, entrepreneurship, man, to a whole nother level and giving back. So we definitely, man, leave that out, and want to acknowledge it. Although it's been acknowledged a lot of through a lot of other platforms. So again, that's what's up, man. When it came to the Georgia brothers, man, what's going on? Everything else good, man?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Everything's good, man.
The thing I wanted to mention, my bad. The other thing, my head was going somewhere else, was the Dave Chappelle. Did y'all see the Dave Chappelle Unforgiven?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, caught some of it.
I checked that out.
That's what I wanted to I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to ask you a question for another trended topic. So what happened was with Dave, he put out Unforgiven last week on his Instagram page. It's about an 18-minute piece talking about, his relationship with Netflix, talking about his relationship that he had with Comedy Central. So with that being said, he wanted them to ban him. Not ban Netflix, not ban HBO Max or anything like that, but just ban him. So several weeks ago, Lauren Michaels of SNL, she grabbed Dave Chappelle and said, "Hey, you interested in doing the show on Saturday?" Of course, Dave said yes, and he took it. And that night, Dave talks about how Netflix and HBO Max put his show out, the Dave Chappelle show. Now, if we remember, I don't know if y'all remember, I know Katie and Ward, y'all let me know about this. Y'all was up on this years ago when he walked away from that money doing the Dave Chappelle show. Yeah. He walked away, and it was a whole bunch of different, sounds that came behind it. Dave is out there doing drugs. Dave is out there acting crazy. But today we can see it. Dave was out there doing his thing, getting them stuff together. So within Dave's Unforgiven piece earlier this week, it was a great piece. If y'all can, go to his page on Instagram and check it out. Dave talked about HBO when he took the special to HBO, the Dave Chappelle show. He took the special to HBO, and Dave said to him, he said, look, he's trying to shop his show. And typically, stations or streaming services, they just say no. But in this case, they said to Dave, why we need you. They pretty much kind of remember that. And we go back, I guess last week with Netflix and HBO Max trying to put his show out. Dave said, he wanted them to take it off. Of course, with his relationship with Netflix, he took them off. But the one thing I always found about with Dave was his, I love how Dave took that risk. You think about it back in, when the Comedy Central and his show formed, Dave was a young man, and to be able to walk away for $50 million, I think it was,
50 million,
and trust on yourself, as well as bet on yourself, within that conversation, man, I wanted to ask y'all, while we're talking about, the Dave conversation, I just think he's a very interesting individual. But I wanted to ask you guys, like, when have you taken a real risk on yourself as well as bet on yourself? How important is it to have autonomy within the direction that you're doing? How important is that to be able to, think about yourself, in any space within your journey and say, yo, I'm gonna take a risk on myself. This is something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm gonna try it. It doesn't matter what your financial status is, but this right here is that which I'm gonna try. And I wanted to throw that out there at y'all, man. We like having some fun, man, but we always, like we do, we, have some conversation, man, and we talk about our past, talk about where we stand in the moment. And with, men of vision, how do we get to where we want to get to with trusting yourself and having that full belief?
One of the things, Keith, when you were talking about Dave Chappelle, he realized that he got himself in a bad contract in the beginning with Comedy Central because he was desperate. As he said, he was desperate to get some money and to feed his family. And being desperate, I think people took advantage of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he signed a contract that he realized later on that his talent had far exceeded what that contract was. So I think one of the things that Dave Chappelle realized was that being taken advantage of and not knowing really your worth early on will push you to a point of realizing that you got something else greater that you can do because of the value that you bring to the table. You know, I think we all kind of go through those periods of being dissatisfied with certain career moves or different choices to earn money. But I think what kind of helps get us in the direction that we want to go, that we want to be, is that we're dissatisfied and we want something that really satisfies us as far as our purpose, our passion, and that brings some type of peace in our life, you know. Um, so, I was just when I was thinking about Dave Chappelle, I was thinking about what propelled him to that point. And one of the things that propels us to that point is first realizing that, whatever you're in right now is not for you. And just getting on your grind to try and develop or to carve out your niche that you feel will bring you some form of satisfaction, not just financially, but something that really brings you some joy that you can do, that you can do, and you can get on that platform and you can express yourself professionally and creatively, so
Katie, one of the things that you said, I don't want to mix the two. What you said was when Dave got him in that position, that it appeared as if he was. And does my question that then comes another question, because we could talk about being in a desperate space, but does desperation breed the need and the want? You know what I'm saying? Because if we say that the desperation aspect of it, and one can say, I want more. You know what I'm saying? One can
right.
say, I want more versus a
Mhm.
desperate and finding themselves in that place um,
Yeah.
of feeling like they want more,
Mhm.
then that's where the risk can, pop.
Nah.
No,
Yeah. Nah, I feel you on that. But I think it's lessons learned. Sometimes when
right,
you
Mm-hmm.
go into something that is really not for you, it's just a lesson that you learn about yourself.
right.
You realize this is something that even though you're good at,
Mhm.
does it really bring you some inner satisfaction or some inner creativity? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, with Dave and with all of us, we've had those choices in our life, those decisive moments where we've gotten into something and we realize that this is not for us. My passion isn't here.
Right.
I don't even want to come here. I'm like Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Right. Right.
Right.
We all kind of get that, that moment, where authentically we're not here because this is not something that we feel like we were called to do. And it's just a
Right.
lesson learned so that you learn more about yourself so you can evolve into the person that you want to be and find that craft that does bring you some form of joy,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and then when you come to that crossroads, that's when you got to decide, will you make the risk or will you take the risk to do exactly what it is that's going to bring you some form of satisfaction and that is really designed and geared just for you.
Right. So, and with
Mm-hmm.
that being said, have you guys ever been in that position where where that need, or even that desire to want more, preceded the need, or I'm desperate. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when were you guys ever in that position, if you ever were?
Um,
Yeah.
I don't think I was ever in that position,
Hmm.
but I've been to where, you know, I mean, see me. Luckily, I fell into a profession that I loved anyway.
Hmm.
There's nothing more than I like doing. Messing with electricity sounds sounds a little strange, but I like doing that. Um, and but it's like your confidence because you're me being a minority in this occupation is like they really don't want to listen to you. They want you to just work and keep on moving. But it's like you sometimes you get in situations where your actual artistic mind needs to be put in play, and they try to stomp on it and be like, no, we want you to do it this way. And sometimes you got to like no, because there was a situation I was working over in Philly, and this was right about when the internet was really starting to boom, and they were doing this big internet switch over in Philadelphia, and one of the guys, one of the foremen was like, "Yo, let's let Henry do it. Let's let him take this rack that they need, this special rack they needed done." And they were like, "Okay, let's give him a chance." So they was like, "Here's a picture of what we did in Dallas, and this is what we wanted to look like." So I said, "Okay." I looked at it and I said, "I'm not doing that." And of course, you get that side eye, like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "I'm not doing that. That looks like trash to me." I said, "I'll give you something that you'll like." So, needless to say, a couple days later, when I was done, I'm pretty sure they took a picture, said, "This is what we did in Philly, and this is what we want our work to look like." So, just being at like more or less being confident in yourself in my situation than being, just going out. In a way, I did go out on a limb, like, look, I ain't doing it your way. I'm gonna do it my way.
Uh-huh.
And made
Yeah.
them realize, like, look, just because you did it one way somewhere doesn't always make it the best.
Right.
Gotcha. Good stuff. Stuff.
Let me say this about Ward real quick. When we were in high school, let me say this. When we were in high school, and me and Ward go back to Hatch Middle School, but when we were in high
Right.
school, we had some of the more difficult classes, those academically talented classes. And while I'm fighting to understand physics and I'm fighting to understand algebra, trig, and all that, with Ward, things just came effortlessly to him. You know what I'm saying? This dude ain't had to study like I did to get a C, to try and get a B minus or a C plus
That's what's up.
in trigonometry or something like that. Ward effortlessly got A's in physics and whatever, and I like Ward don't realize, but I admired that about him. I thought this dude was going to, his thing was college
Everybody
and he
did.
was going to grad
Yeah.
school because this
Nah.
dude is just gifted academically, from what far from where I was at the time. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, what I see in Ward was that wasn't his passion, though. You know what I'm saying? As gifted as he was in the academic field and still is, it still wasn't his passion to be held down to a schedule of 8 a.m. classes. Okay.
No.
And papers. That's something, me, EB, and Keith did. But, later on, you saw that Ward just wasn't going to be tied. He had to have total autonomy.
Yeah.
And that's what we talk about, and I'm a little golly jealous at that academic gift that he has. I think I got some of that, but, to see someone effortlessly do the things that you struggle to do, you admire that gift that's in that person. And my plans for Ward was that he go the same route that we did, but he had different plans for himself, and that's, to me, the true definition of autonomy.
Right.
When you carve out your own path and your own journey to get to your desired destination. So, Ward, I just want to say that about you, man. You ain't know that,
Hey,
but
man, I
like,
appreciate that, brother. Yeah,
listen,
but it was like in high school. I told them from the start. It was like, nah, I want to go to college. What do you mean? I'm like, I don't want to go
I
to
never
college.
heard that from you. I never heard that from you.
What did I said? I
I
didn't want to go.
yeah, I never heard that from you.
Yeah,
But
I
it was
mean,
just
I was trying.
understood. It
I
was
was
just
I
trying
don't
to
think
take shop. I was
that you
trying to
were going
take
to go.
shop classes from the
because you
door.
had offers to go to college. Ward was accepted to colleges, but we ain't find out until we all left, and Ward went on a different path.
Right.
But that's that autonomy, that a lot of people don't really like. You was expressing your boldness and your risk taking back then because it was the norm for us to go to college. Either you was going to go to college or you was going to work at the post office.
Mhm.
You was going to do one of the
Right.
two. You know what I'm saying? It was those
Yeah,
options
always work at the
really.
post office.
It's always work at the post office. I ain't knocking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to defy the normal standards is what really autonomy is on this is how it's displayed.
Right.
Right. Right.
Right. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. For me,
Hmm.
taking a leap of faith. Um, I've been in education, you guys, for about 18 years, but I always had the business like or entrepreneur like spirit. So that's why I went and became a realtor. I've always wanted to somehow have different revenue streams. And back in 2007, if you guys remembered, I opened up my little ice cream and water ice store on
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And if you some of you may not notice, but down there near Lewis, on the left side of the street where it was, that's considered Collingswood, even though it's on like that Miami from Avenue strip. And when
Hmm.
I get the permits and do all the things that I had to do, I had to go through township to make sure that I did everything properly. So
Yeah.
the guys, they kind of put me through the ringers. They wanted permits for this, that, and they had me get something called a grease trap, right? And the grease trap was
Hmm.
Yeah.
it was the device that had to be connected to the
Mhm.
sink at the bottom, and it had to be
Right.
Hmm.
the
In the
ground
ground.
and the
Hmm.
ground, and it made it difficult for me because I didn't really have the handyman that I needed. But long story short, man, I was able to accomplish that goal, brother. And I got the water ice store. You guys used to come sit and hang out with me. Ward used to
All the time. All the time.
come on his motorcycle and hang out with me.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
Um,
sir.
yeah, but I used that to say that it was something that I wanted to do to take a leap of faith.
Right.
I had the passion to do it. Unfortunately, it only worked out for me for a few summers, but
Hmm.
there were some lessons learned, behind that, when I did open up that business, it
Mhm.
basically to go a little bit, leap a little bit higher. When
Mhm.
Hmm.
I got it for I guess the minimum thing that you could do, which
Hmm.
for, the ice cream and the water ice and stuff like that. I didn't want to
Hmm.
all that money to get, ovens and the stove because it was going to cost a lot of money.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Be able to do that, from like the March to like the October month. So
Yeah.
so from like November to like February, it was kind of stagnant. So
Hmm.
lesson learned, man. But I did take that leap of faith, man, and try to
Yeah.
Hmm.
So when you
pursue.
when you guys mention autonomy, the story is relevant. Do you think that continues? Like, is it just in the moment, or does that stay with you throughout, or does that autonomy come in different phases, in
Mm.
choices? You know, what I'm
Hmm,
saying? Like
good question.
I'm thinking about having autonomy, and I think in moments, I wonder if we have that moment. You know what I'm saying? But does it
Hmm.
continue with us to know that when we need to step out and be free and take that risk, that's still on board with us? You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't
Yeah.
for a
I,
moment.
I, yeah. I think it comes with like I was saying earlier. It may come in phases. It may come in different waves in your life too.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But when you have a strong dissatisfaction, though,
Mhm.
it's like your authentic self is battling against
Right.
being put in a restricted environment,
Right.
you
Hmm.
know, and I think that comes with maturation. You know, because early on, I think we try to blend in our environment instead of wanting to stand out.
I got you.
You know, and that's what autonomy has a lot to do with, is really being your authentic self, and your authentic self sometimes doesn't fit in the restricted environment. You know what I'm saying? You're too loud, you're too expressive. The way you wear your clothes, the way you interact with other people, you know, it's not for everybody.
Absolutely.
You know, and to try and hone that, or to carve out what it is, I think it comes with maturation instead of one moment. Like, some people will go through trends of trying different things. I don't think that's autonomy. I think that's a stage of exploration. You know what I'm saying? Where you're trying to self-discover what it is that your skill set is good at. You know, but once you realize your skill set and who you really are authentically, then you can try and say, you know, this is the avenue, or this is the platform, or this is my purpose. You realize what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, I realize, you know, I got the gift of speech. I got the gift of gab. I can run my mouth with the best of them. You know, and yeah. So, but again, you know what? That didn't come, like, I never had this early on. Like, I remember, Ward, I remember being in Forest Hill, and it was a talent show. I dressed up like Michael Jackson. My mom made me a Michael Jackson glove with studs.
But you know that I can picture
all
that.
All I had to do, because I had a curl. All I had to do was go out on that stage and lip sync Billie Jean.
Right.
I couldn't do it. I froze. And my mom had to lead me out there, and pretty much she did it for me while I was frozen on that stage. You know what I'm saying? But it was those failures early on in life that helps you to kind of realize that the thing that you might have shied away from is the thing that you might really be good at. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just say that to say that, you know, I didn't know I had the gift until my period of maturation. You know, and my period of times where, you know, I was forced to be in a position where I had to put myself on display, and I had some failures. But you study to see how you can correct those things so you can be better the next time. You know, so you know, I've been sharing with Keith what my project is, and my project is to put that pen to pad and begin to put everything that's inside of me into something that people can begin to flip through pages and see what my journey has been and what my thoughts have been. And that's something that, you know, it's kind of scary at first, because you don't know if everybody's going to accept your work.
And that's where it goes back to my question of what pushes you. Like, what is that thing that catapults you to that? Yo, I'm taking this risk. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it's fear that push you. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it that fear that push you, or are the circumstances different for everyone? You know what I'm saying? You know, are the circumstances for everyone, where one person pushes him, one person he just trusts himself, then the other person. So I'm wondering if that's the case. But you know, when I think of Dave at 28 broke, and we have different perspectives of it. You know, for us, I think, like, regardless of where we are, regardless of what success we look that we have, like, I feel like there's more. There's more to, like, risk or step out on. You know what I'm saying? And you and I, we had a chance to talk about some things, but I feel like there's more than that. Like, you in a place of success, and people may see you as successful. That is their perspective and what people call success. But I feel like even in that space, even in that place, like, you got more. And when I think about Wardy, like, I didn't know anything about that. Never him never wanting to go to college. My thought was, which college did he want to choose to go to?
Right.
So that was my thing. So, when I think about Wardy and his brain, and I don't even know how that thing works and how he just gets things, my thought, even in his position, like, yo, like, really, there's more. You know what I'm saying? So not to and not to attack it without fear is maybe what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, just there's more. KD, you're in
Yeah.
a position. You know what I'm saying? You get a chance. You got some you got some autonomy within your position. But I
A
know
little bit.
that, you know what I'm saying. So I wanted to kind
Yeah.
of get your idea on that. EB, I know you ain't get a chance to say something.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that I think it's a desire, man, that you have within you to just try to pursue whatever it is that's within inside of you, man. Everybody has some goals and aspirations that they want to try to achieve. So sometimes there are certain things, man, that will just keep itching away at you until you go and try to pursue it.
Right.
And me, man, it was just, trying to, itch that scratch of opening up a business, man. That's what it was for me. Um, so that's where I am with it, good brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wardy?
Well, I just like, my thing is I like to, walk back to the places I've worked and say, yeah, I did that.
Right. Right.
I'll put those lights in. I ran that pipe work, especially now being at Camden High, like,
Right.
for one to go there, and then now I'm rebuilding Camden High.
You help
It's
them.
like that was, it's like, I don't have kids, but that's my legacy.
Right. Right.
Mm,
All the work that I did, all the effort that I put into all the, the pipe work and the wire and making sure everybody had heat and lights and you
mhm,
know,
Mm-hmm.
so that's my enjoyment. That's my drive to
mhm.
actually know that people are still being able to walk into a room and not trip over something because they
Right.
couldn't see. You know what I mean? That's my biggest thing, man. I've always
Yeah.
known at a young age I wanted to work with my hands. That's what I always said. I always said that. Even in middle school, I always said I want to work with my hands. I get to high school, I wanted to, take shop classes. Nah. You need to go to college. All right, I'll go. I'll make it possible.
Mhm,
And probably y'all didn't know
mhm.
that the college I ended up going to, I didn't even choose it. They chose
Really?
me. They actually chose me. Yeah, they I was going to go to Drew. I was going to go to Drew University, and as soon as I said I'm going, I get this letter from Stevens Tech saying we'll pay half your tuition if you come here.
Right.
So,
Mm.
needless to say, that's where I went.
Yeah.
And and if I was into studying, I probably would have stayed. I probably would have stayed and got my engineering degree, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad in a way. I'm glad I didn't. Now that I actually in construction and seeing what's going on, this was the best route that I could have taken.
Right.
There you
I
go.
enjoy I enjoy it more so
Yeah.
than sitting behind the desk. I know I couldn't sit behind the desk
Hmm.
and just that. Nah, I like being out in the mud, out in the weather. Like today, I was out in the rain all day.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy it.
Right.
I may
Yeah.
complain about it every once in a while, but
Right.
I'd rather do that than be stuck in the office.
Yeah.
But Ward, one thing I'm gonna say is that you're at a place now where you feel like that, but you didn't always feel this reassured about where you are right now.
No,
Cause
man,
right,
from day one when I started working as an
right.
electrician, I'm like, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Right.
This is
Mhm.
really because
Mhm.
I mean, I went,
Yeah.
what I was going to go to college for was on the same lines. I wanted to
Mhm.
be the next, you know, uh,
Right.
what was it, Lionel Evans.
Oh yeah, man, you
But
watch too much good,
I
man.
know,
You
I know,
watch
I
too
do,
much
I know, I do.
Jefferson.
But nah, it was like
Hey,
this
Ward,
this
so
was
you
the
see
best.
joy in
There's
the
a lot
final
of Evans.
project, Ward.
Huh?
You see joy in that final project.
I
When
do. I really do. And it's like, and
that means a lot.
I really love hearing when, people walk by and they were like, "Man, you do nice work." I'm like, "Thank you." You know,
Mm,
that's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to just do something. I'm here to express my artistic feeling,
Gotcha.
and
Gotcha.
even though it's electrical work, there's still some artistic behind,
right.
some artistic feeling behind it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta take some type of care about your work. You know what I'm saying? You can't just do the work and just hand it in any old kind of way and
Right.
say it's
And that's in
done.
anything. That's
And
in
but
any
but
profession.
that's in
Any
every
profession.
profession that we do. You got to have some type of artistic eye that you're gonna make it look pretty and
or
shiny and
or
wrap it
or
in a
doesn't even
bow.
care
It,
about it.
if it's the essay that you're doing, you know what I'm saying, or if it's the building that you're working on, or the baker that's making the pastry, it's all about presentation
Yeah.
and substance. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You
Yeah.
got to have both. Now, when you were talking, Wardy, I was thinking about you said that this is your legacy. Um, but I'm thinking, we all around the same age, and right now, I can't say that, my legacy has been completed. I feel like, we got so, like Keith was saying, we got so much more. Like after
Oh,
this
definitely.
project, listen, after this project is done,
Hmm.
What's
what's
next?
going to be the next? See, this is where we need to start thinking about.
Right.
This is how autonomy helps to free our mind, not getting so confined in what we're doing in this
At the
present
moment.
project, but what's the next move? You
So
know what I'm saying?
I think
Bad boys move in silence, not
Right.
violence.
Right.
Take it from your highness. Listen,
so you
so but Keith, you asked the question: what motivates you? What pushes you
yeah, yeah.
to keep on moving or to try and get that
To
freedom that you want? And
after
I was thinking about, am I doing it in order for me to prove other people wrong, or am I doing it to prove myself wrong? You know what I'm saying? Because at one point in my life, when I did have that, I had to overcome being in public surroundings and being on that platform and being able to use my voice. I had to kind of get over and overcome a little bit of that anxiety that accompanied that. So then it was a part of me that felt like I need to do this better in order to prove to the ones that I bombed in front of
Hmm.
Hmm.
that I can do this.
so
But that really wasn't my authentic self.
well, that's what I was going to say because I'm
That
wondering.
wasn't my authentic self.
Yeah, so I'm wondering because it sounds like purpose and autonomy are related. You know what I mean? Can you have one without the other? You know, we,
Mm,
we talk I heard you just mention purpose and
Hmm.
for me I'm wondering how relatable, how closely knit are they? You know, we know they definitely in the family, but the purpose when you walking in your true purpose, because that leads us to a whole nother conversation.
mm,
And walking in your purpose, but you have to be able to have autonomy. I
Hmm.
right,
You have to
right.
have your true purpose to have autonomy. So, I'm listening to Kevin, and I think it speaks for all of us. You know, what I'm saying, like, are you really like walking in your true purpose
Hmm.
to have that autonomy? You know,
Right.
Hmm.
and reminiscent to or similar to what Dave, went through, and we don't know his story. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I was thinking about that aspect of it, like he had to be in his purpose, and to be in your purpose, you got to have true autonomy to
Hmm.
be able to take that risk and come back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As tough
Right.
as tough as
Well, I think in Dave's position it was a little bit different than what we're kind of talking about because he knew he had that gift.
Hmm.
But his thing was more or less the industry
That did it
stomping on
wrong.
him and benefiting from his talent, which
Mhm.
a lot of people like if you look at it, most artists, the music industry, television, they want you to sign a contract. They want you to be, put yourself out there. Be the entertainer. You're the one out there putting all your most of your ideals to the forefront. you
Mhm.
know you're out there performing. You're the one generating the revenue, but they're the ones collecting it.
Right.
And it
Right.
was like, because he signed that contract, it was like it was finite. So he
Mhm.
put himself in a box. And all these artists, and that's and they all do it. It was just like, if you heard the story about Chris Weaver, the kid that did the voice for the Lion King, who sang in the Lion King.
Mhm.
Like, from the door, they came up, was like, oh, here's a $2 million check
Hmm.
for you to to sing the song.
Mhm.
And of course, his mother, being his agent, and it was like, no, we're not going to do that, because what happens, if if it's re-released,
Hmm.
the merchandise and all this other stuff. So where's his money from all the money that you're going to collect? So
Hmm.
they felt the same way. He's like, well, wait a minute. You want to put me in this little box, even though it was a kind of a big box. But it's like, yo, this is my brainchild. How
Mhm.
are you going to benefit off of my brainchild, and I get crumbs?
Mhm.
Right.
And that's like most artists. They all do it. It's like, how I never could understand these companies. They have no talent whatsoever. These guys that run these, they have no talent,
Right.
but yet they make all the money.
Right.
Oh yeah, we're
Right.
going to send you here. We're going to send you, but that we're going to send you isn't we.
Right.
It's, you're going to pay. You're the one is, we're going to make you suffer,
Mhm.
and we're just going to reap all the benefits.
Mhm.
And that's, I think, that Dave was in that little. He didn't want to get boxed in, and
Right.
he's like, look, now's the time to, like, don't even watch my stuff, because the more you watch it, the more
What
money
they
they
get.
get, and I won't get anything.
Mhm.
So don't even watch it. And I feel him wholeheartedly on that. Like, look, don't even do it, because you're
Yeah.
giving them more power than
Mhm.
than he's actually getting.
Mhm.
And it's the same situation, like my boys De La Soul, same situation.
Mhm.
They got stuck in a contract, and then, like, all you guys that stream, you can't stream De La.
Yeah.
But now, all of a
Right.
sudden, now they want to start streaming De La, because they become a little more popular from the old school, and they're like, look, don't even do it, because the
Really.
contract isn't for us. It's like the people that never even knew that couldn't rap, that couldn't put these tracks together, is benefiting from it, and not me.
Right.
So don't even, boycott sales.
Right.
Right. Right. Hey, check this out, man. This reminds me of that story, man, from Acrimony, man. Remember the brother that co-starred with Taraji P. Henson?
Hmm.
Hadn't seen.
He had an invention, right,
Yep, that battery.
of that battery. And once that invention um, was about to like really, really blow up, they saw the writing on the wall and they offered things. What was it anymore? They
Oh,
offered
they offer some ridiculous number.
600, I don't know, I'm guessing. Let's just
Ridiculous.
650,000. But
Mhm.
he turned it down at his lowest point. He turned
Yep,
it down.
yep,
And then when he left, they called him back and they offered him millions. But I
yep.
respect that brother for turning it down because he knew his worth. He knew
Yes,
it was worth more than what they were offering. Like
yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Acrimony.
And but what's that to say? Like, when you talk about that one brother E, and you look
Mhm.
at Dave Chappelle early on getting into something that wasn't good.
Right.
What's the difference between the two brothers? I would say that it's really knowing your worth, and to
Hmm.
being able to project long term.
Yep.
Some of us are so short-sighted with our gift.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That we see the value maybe right now, but we don't see the value of investing in the long term. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And that's, I think, where a lot of us, a lot of our people fall short, is that we only live for the present moment,
Right.
and we don't really look down the road to see, you know, am I going to be not just living comfortably, but
Mhm.
am I really going to be, is my gift really going to be expanded by the time in the next 5 to 10 years? We got to be able to project our growth.
Right.
Businesses do it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Businesses sit down and they give you the chart, and they're projecting the growth, and they're giving you, the outlook for the end of the year,
Right.
the
Mm-hmm.
next year, fiscal year. We got to do the same thing when we're thinking about our own life. You know what I'm saying? When we're thinking about, 5 to 10 years from now, how does our gift look, and how will it have not only impacted me personally,
Mhm.
but people on a larger scale? Because it shouldn't just stay in Camden. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? My legacy is not just confined to Camden. We got to have a more broader view. And until we have a more broader view of how far our gift can go, we'll still be restricting ourselves. It's not just our jobs that are restricting us.
Right.
I think we restrict ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We put limitations on our own self for
Yeah,
the
Right.
we
most
do.
part.
Yeah,
Right.
we do.
I think you on point with that. We could definitely have some more conversation about that. I'm listening to so many different words, man. And you talk about, somebody just mentioned worth too, and they all so much related, man. And if you know your worth, you know, we all been in a position where we could just straight walk away. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Worth in that,
Mhm.
not meeting your need, you know. Um, Yo, good
Yeah.
conversation, man. We had a good one.
Yo, I wanna thank Keith because um he's been on me about really pushing my project forward. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he'll shoot me a text and he'll be like, "Yo, how much is completed? What percentage are you at? Where are you? I'm staying on you because you talked about it. Now you got to bring it into existence. You put it out there. Now you got to do the work, the hard work that it takes to get it out there." I think we all need a person
Yeah.
like that to
Accountability.
help push us into being, having that creative freedom,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to completing projects that's been on our heart for so long. If you don't have somebody like that, you
Mm-hmm.
can become stagnant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just, and basically you're just like, I'm settling for less. When we, like Keith said, we need to know that we've got more work that we can really offer one another.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nah,
That's what brothers are for, man.
yeah, that's. I think it also goes back to, man, just and combination with you saying, KD, is you got to check your circle, man. If that saying, if you're the biggest one in your circle, you in the wrong circle.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So you want to be the dumbest one in your circle. You know,
Not the dumbest, but you don't want to be just the
yeah,
smartest.
you want to be, and while bringing something to the table, you want to make sure you're in
Yeah.
a circle, man, where people
Yeah,
can hold you
Yeah.
accountable.
You want to be able to give and receive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
If you the smartest one
Listen,
in the room, something's wrong with that picture.
right, right.
right.
Yeah.
Listen, we all need to challenge each other. Like,
Yes,
where you
sir.
going to be? We got 3 more years in our 40s.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's the jubilee year, the 50th year, going to bring you? You know what I'm saying? What are we going to look like?
Physical.
Not just the face,
Physical.
Yeah,
not just the physical, but what are we looking like in the next 3 to 5 years?
Right.
Hey,
You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
KD, you forgot I just got a birthday, so
he got,
Yeah.
I got two more.
he got good, man.
Listen, I got two and some change. I got
Yeah.
two and some change. It's coming. It's coming.
Uh,
It's coming.
But it's
Yeah.
definitely it's always good, man, to catch up with the fellas, man. Have some good conversations. These are just our thoughts, man, when we talk about trending topics nationally and local news and relevant topics concerning our community, concerning us as Black people. So, we just want to thank you guys for coming out, man, spending this time with us. Go check us out. Tell your friends, share it if you can. Our conversations on YouTube. We had Dr. Perot, talking about health and Black men health awareness. We had Reverend Nikki 2 weeks ago having a conversation with us about Black women in leadership. We also had Officer Chris Kelly. Definitely a great conversation. We learned some stuff, and really, really good conversation on YouTube. Check it out. Black in America. I think it's 2Ks. So thanks again for joining us. These are just our thoughts.
All right.
Yo.
Peace.